Good day. My pep talk today is entitled Holistic New Year Resolutions. How to. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding of how to make holistic New Year resolutions as part of their health management. The contents of this pep talk will be the following. What are the New Year resolutions? What is the importance of making New Year resolutions? What are holistic New Year resolutions? What are the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions? And what are ROJoson's recommendations on how to make holistic New Year resolutions? A disclaimer, the ROJoson pep talk contains my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations, or TPORs, culled from the experiences of R.O. Hoson, yours truly, and other professionals. Let's start with the first topic. What are New Year resolutions? New Year resolutions is a tradition commonly practiced worldwide. Most do, some don't. And for those who don't do it, this is not an offense. It is a tradition in which a person resolves to continue or develop new good practices, change an undesired trait or behavior, accomplish a personal goals, etc. at the beginning of a calendar year. So the requirements of a New Year resolutions are the following: to continue or to develop good life practices, change undesired life practices, set goals, and then start the implementation on January 1 of the new year. New Year resolutions is also a promise to do something differently in the new year or maintain, I repeat, maintain good practices. It's a promise that you make to yourself to start doing something good or stop doing something bad on the first day of the year. What is the importance of doing New Year resolutions? Basically, self-improvement. Continuous self-improvement in living a purposeful and meaningful life on earth. So the requirements of a New Year resolutions will be the following: continuous self-improvement and a plan to live a purposeful and meaningful life on earth. As New Year resolutions can be said to be setting goals for the new year, another importance is that they can provide clarity for goals and directions in one's life. They allow one to plan a course of definite actions, more specific actions for the future. So the requirements of a New Year resolutions are the following. There must be goal setting. Goals must be written down. Goals must be clear and as specific as possible. What are holistic New Year resolutions? First, what is meant by holistic? Holistic means relating to or concerned with wholes or with complete systems rather than with individual parts. It's dealing with or treating the whole of something or whole of someone and not just a part. Encompassing the whole of a thing and not just the part. In other words, or in short, in totality, encompassing, and comprehensive. So holistic New Year resolutions are New Year resolutions that are in totality, encompassing, and comprehensive. Note there are so many resolutions that can be made, but one can prioritize either within the year or within so many years, but still they must be holistic. What are the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions? Most New Year resolutions, from my personal experience, are being done unsystematically, piecemeal, bit by bit, little by little, at random, no order, etc., and with no follow-through assessment and evaluation and continuous improvement. Most New Year resolutions are being done at present are not in totality, not encompassing, and not comprehensive. So they are usually not holistic. A sample of a New Year resolution of a person: exercise more, lose weight, get organized, learn a new skill or habit, live life to the fullest, save more money or spend less money, quit smoking, spend more time with family and friends, travel more, read more. So this is an example that shows that this is not done systematically and done piecemeal. So here we don't see the main reference or guiding theme of the resolutions, and all for improvement and no maintenance of good practices. Another example of a New Year resolution done piecemeal: get active with a daily exercise routine, eat more fruits and veggies and less processed foods, learn a new skill or hobby this year, read a book every month, practice mindfulness through meditation, manage stress through regular breaks, save money, and create budget. Again, we don't see the main reference or guiding theme for the resolution, and these are done piecemeal and all for improvement and no maintenance of good practices. So as I said, these are mostly done for oneself in mind, and then leaving out the interests of family members and significant loved ones, and limited to some aspect of life practices and not the entire spectrum. Examples: limited to some of physical health, some mental health, spiritual health, time management, relationship management, career, etc. What are ROJoson's recommendations on how to make holistic New Year resolutions? These contain my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations. Apology if I may be biased towards certain religion or spiritual practices and other practices. My recommendations for the holistic New Year resolutions will be applicable to all adult people 18 years old in the Philippines with a sound mind, meaning capable of understanding and forming a rational judgment. I prefer holistic rather than piecemeal New Year resolutions making. Holistic New Year resolutions may be tedious in making, particularly initially, but in the long run, it produces better outcomes as long as there is discipline and perseverance in implementation. To be in totality encompassing and comprehensive in making New Year resolutions, which strictly speaking is a personal living plan with set goals of continually developing and improving one's personal life, mindset, and practices. A New Year resolution starts with the formulation of a holistic, intentional living plan at whatever year or age a person wants to start to seriously do and implement a New Year resolutions. Thus, the formulation of an intentional living plan can start at 18 years old or thereafter. If one embarks seriously on a holistic New Year resolutions project, it should start with a formulation of a holistic intentional living plan. Note, intentional living plans are also frequently done piecemeal. Again, I prefer a holistic intentional living plans also. Example of a piecemeal intentional living plans: take time to reflect, wait 24 hours before you buy, learn to say no, regularly declutter, set boundaries with technology, schedule time for what matter, put your blinders on, meditations or mindfulness practice, make time for self-care. Another example of piecemeal intentional living plan: plan, clean and declutter, meal plan and prep, exercise, companionship, meditate, gratitude. Note, I prefer holistic rather than piecemeal New Year resolution making, and I also prefer holistic intentional living plan over piecemeal intentional living plan. As I said, holistic New Year resolutions is equivalent to a holistic intentional living plan. A holistic intentional living plan will promote a holistic New Year resolutions. Long term or whole lifetime plans will be part of your holistic intentional living plan. And it is something that is done in totality, encompassing and comprehensive with set goals of continually developing and improving one's personal life, mindsets, and practices. So a holistic New Year resolutions and a holistic intentional plan may not be able to achieve set goals in the new year, but eventually achieve in subsequent years or during a lifetime as long as there are discipline and perseverance. It may prioritize by year, but should not be totally left out and should at least be started in the year. And it includes maintenance of good practices achieved year in, year out with discipline and perseverance. So it can be started at any time, preferably at age 18. Depends on when holistic intentional living plan is formulated, maybe 18 years old, 40 years old, 65 years old, 70 years old, 75 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old, when or even when there is a terminally ill disease. Note, elderly people or persons with terminally ill diseases can still do and are personally I advise them to do holistic New Year resolutions and intentional living plan if they have not done them before, because they provide directions in life and promote purposeful and meaningful life up to the end of life. So here are my recommendations. The first step will in making a holistic intentional living plan. Set out the overall direction and goals of life to live on earth. Acceptable examples will be to have a purposeful and meaningful life on earth before death. For the spiritual persons, to have a purposeful and meaningful spiritual life on earth before death in preparation for an eternal salvation in heaven. Unacceptable examples, as they are not holistic, to enjoy life in this world, to be rich in this world, to be famous, to be the greatest person in terms of a specific skill in this world. So these are my recommendations for the overall directions and goals of life to live on earth, to have a purposeful and meaningful life on earth before death, and then for the spiritual person in preparation for an eternal salvation in heaven. The second step will be to try to estimate your remaining lifespan on earth if you can, to guide your intentional living plan for formulation. Those with an existing specific disease, ask your physicians or Google examples. What are the 5-year or 10-year survival rates, median survival, etc. for your particular existing disease? Those who are elderly, 60 and above, based on Philippine practice, look at the actuarial life or mortality table of local insurance companies, and the rest target 70 years old, as this is roughly the average lifespan of Filipinos. The third step will be to make a detailed, holistic, intentional living plan based on your overall directions, goals, and estimated lifespan. This is my operational definition of intentional living plan. It is a plan that you make targeting a certain number of years in which you write down things you intend or want to accomplish on your graduation day, which is the last day of your targeted year, which will make you feel you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, you are contented and ready to die a happy death. The assumption and reality is all of us will die one day. So this should be guided by the overall directions and goals of life to live on Earth. So you have two components here, goals for self with timelines and goals for loved ones with timelines. Okay. So in both cases, there must be general and specific goals with timelines, years to achieve, or years set for the achievement, and then years set for maintenance. Now, the goals for self with timelines, specific areas for the spiritual person may include to love God and serve God. So write a spiritual plans with timelines. Number two, specific area can be identify the legacies you want to leave behind or to accomplish before you die for your family and for your community. Then write the legacy plans with timelines. Other specific areas will be how to stay alive and not crippled, how to be productive, how to have peace of mind, how to be contented, how to enjoy life. You can include other personal concerns, then write the action plans for each area with timelines. Another specific area is to how to prepare for a happy death. Write a happy death plan with timelines. So my recommended contents of holistic intentional living plan based on overall directions and goals of an estimated lifespan will be the following: goals for self with timelines, goals for loved ones with timelines, and under goals for self with timelines will be number one, love and serve God for those who are spiritually inclined. Then legacies to leave behind, how to stay alive and not crippled, how to be productive, how to have peace of mind, how to be contented, how to enjoy life, and how to prepare for a happy death. So it must contain general and specific goals with timelines, years set for achievement, and then years set for maintenance. So it must be in details. There must be specific strategies and action plans, which will be dependent on the person making the plans. After making the first draft of the detailed holistic intentional living plan based on your overall direction, goals, and estimated lifespan, which now constitute the holistic New Year resolutions, implement right away at the start of the new year. Keep track of the implementation during the year. Do end of the year performance review. Continually improve on the plan. May refine them every year end or new year. Identify causes of under and non-achieved outcomes and continuously improve on them the next year until achieved. Continuously maintain the good practices and achieve outcomes. So this constitutes a lifetime work. Implement and continuously do self-improvement until you attain all your holistic goals so that at graduation day, you feel you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, and you are contented and ready to die a happy death. So these are my recommendations. Holistic New Year resolutions will be this equivalent to holistic intentional living plan. It's a long-term or whole lifetime plans in totality, encompassing and comprehensive with set goals of continually developing and improving one's personal life, mindset, and practices. This template I've been doing and implementing since I was 45 years old, 1994, up to the present, 2005, at 75 years old, so that's 30 years. Initially difficult, but eventually smooth sailing with discipline and perseverance. I'm contented and happy with the outcome. If I were to die today, before my last breath, I can honestly say I have lived a purposeful life, I have lived my life to the fullest, and I have lived a meaningful life. I have these resolutions for so many years now and been implementing well. Okay. On love and serve God. Samples are I, I go for daily Catholic Mass, regular confessions, Holy Rosary, Holy Hour, compassionate humanitarian program. For legacies to leave behind, I have identified about 50 legacies which I will leave behind to my family and community. Samples are ROJoson Pep Talk, Intentional Living Plan, Patient-Centered Care Management, Legacy as a medical teacher, legacy as a father. How to prepare for a happy death? I'm prepared for it. Samples are constantly in a state of spiritual grace, and then bonding with family, completed my obligations to my children, advanced directives. As to how to stay alive and not crippled, I have these resolutions for so many years now and been implementing them well. Avoid accidents, not to commit suicide, control whatever diseases that I may have so as not to cause or promote death, avoid stress, live a healthy lifestyle. How to be productive, I have these resolutions: medical practice, continuing, medical educational, surgical education, blogging, family bonding, exercise relaxation, social networking. As to peace of mind, I have these resolutions: always be at peace with God, at peace with every other human being, at peace with authority, and of course, stress management. How to be contented? Samples of resolutions that I made: always be grateful to God's blessing, no rat race. How to enjoy life? My resolutions are to enjoy different kinds of pleasures in life: sensual pleasure, ego pleasure, accomplishment pleasure, and appreciation pleasure. Summary takeaway: I have discussed these various topics in this talk. What are the New Year resolutions? What is the importance of making New Year resolutions? What are holistic New Year resolutions? What are the current pitfalls of most New Year resolutions? And what are my recommendations on how to make holistic New Year resolutions? As I said, to repeat, the holistic New Year resolutions will be equivalent to a holistic intentional living plan. It's a long-term, whole lifetime plans, in totality, encompassing and comprehensive, with set goals of continually and developing and improving one's personal life and mindset and practices. So these are essentially my recommendations. And then my recommended contents of holistic intentional living plan based on overall directions, goals, and estimated lifespan will be the following: goals for self with timelines and goals for loved ones with timelines. And then the various parts under these goals for self with timelines will be love and serve God, legacies to leave behind, how to stay alive and not crippled, how to be productive, how to have peace of mind, how to be contented, and how to enjoy life, and how to prepare for a happy death. So this plan should contain general specific goals with timelines, years set for achievement, years set for maintenance, and it must be detailed with specific strategies and action plans, but this will be dependent on the person making the plans. And after making the first draft of the plan, implement right away at the start of the year, keep track of the implementation, do year-end performance review, continually improve on the plan, and then refine it if needed, identify causes of under and non-achieved outcomes, and continuously improve on them on the next year until achieved, and then continuously maintain the good practices and achieve outcomes. This constitutes a lifetime work. Okay. Implement and continuously doing self-improvement until you attain your holistic goals so that at graduation day, you feel you have lived your life to the fullest, you have lived a meaningful life, and you are contented and ready to die a happy death. Takeaway in relation to empowerment, be always in touch with reliable medical information and how to make holistic New Year resolutions. Knowledge is power, it gives power. Use the four Ks of patient empowerment: kalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on how to make holistic New Year resolutions as part of your health management. So with that, I end my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on how to make holistic New Year resolution as part of your health management. Thank you and good day.